After a week of tallying, another recount when you'll really find out who won Florida's Senate race. Plus, an undercover operation in the Tampa Bay area leads to the arrests of dozens of alleged gang members, including one from the Suncoast. And an 11-year-old boy says he was almost abducted tonight in Manatee County. We'll tell you the description of that suspect. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Well, just when you thought drama surrounding the midterm elections was over, Florida surprises you once again. Ron DeSantis is your new governor unless the courts give Andrew Gillum the red light for a manual recount. After today's final tally of more than 8 million ballots, DeSantis beat Gillum by a little more than 33,000 votes. But Gillum says he's not conceding. He and his supporters believe there could still be a victory if they count the over and under votes, which is what will determine who your next senator and agriculture commissioners are. A manual recount is called for when there is less than a 0.25% margin between the candidates. Now, the manual recount does not include recounting every vote, just the ones that the machine said had more than one oval filled, no oval filled, or that the machine did not read. Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections Ron Turner says while it has been a long week, it's hard to predict what the end results will be.
I think we just need to be patient with the process, let it play out here, till we get through the timelines in the next few days and see what the results are.
3 Florida counties missed their recount deadline today. Their unofficial count from last week still stands. Sarasota and Manatee County will start their manual recount tomorrow. State law requires everything to be sent in by Sunday at noon. New at 11, Palm Beach County is banning solitary confinement in their juvenile detention centers. Instead, they'll be providing educational services to kids in that area, or in that correctional facility, The Sheriff's Office and school board says incarcerated children will now receive schooling outside of their cells and alternative behavior management skills will be used instead. A class action lawsuit was filed in June by the Human Rights Defense Center and the Legal Aid Society of Palm Beach County on behalf of all juveniles being held in the jail in small cells for upwards of 23 hours a day for weeks, months, in some cases more than a year. The plaintiffs also argue the children were denied proper educational services, receiving only packets of schoolwork under their cell doors or having brief conversations with a teacher standing outside of the locked door. Well, judges are rushing to make rulings on several lawsuits made following the election, hoping to make a change to decades-long rules and extend today's deadline. One lawsuit in federal court today challenges a state law that requires mail-in ballots to be received at county elections offices by 7 p.m. on Election Day. Defendants of this lawsuit determining the validity of ballots based on a received by date rather than pairing it with a postmark date runs the risk of denying the right to vote to some Floridians. The plaintiffs, however, feel all ballots postmarked by Election Day should count.
Given human nature and what we see, that if everyone knew they had an extra 10 days to get it to us, that processing of that big volume of mail that we normally get done before Election Day would transition to after Election Day.
The federal court did not immediately rule on the case. Also today, the same court did side with U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, saying some voters will be given more time to fix signature problems with their vote-by-mail ballots. However, the court also ruled against Nelson in another case, denying an extension of today's machine recount deadline. Well, another top story we're following tonight, a deadly winter storm wreaking havoc across nearly half of the country, blasting its way into the Northeast, hitting hard just as the evening commute for millions began. ABC's Daria Albinger has the latest.
A blistering early season nor'easter coming in like a bear.
It's way too early, and it's messing up everybody's lives, and it should stop.
Old Man Winter dropping nearly 10 inches of snow from the deep south to the northeast, falling so fast and so hard it caught many off guard.
I wasn't expecting this. I need my boots too. I don't have any boots on.
Much of the storm pummeling the East Coast at the height of rush hour. Roads throughout the storm zones barely drivable.
It was hard to tell where the road began and ended. It was pretty nasty, actually.
In the St. Louis area, cars fishtailing, even spinning out of control on slick streets. In New York City, traffic brought to a screeching halt. A multi-vehicle accident on the George Washington Bridge adding to the nightmare. Frustrated commuters told to avoid the Port Authority bus terminal. Overcrowding there causing the upper floors to close. And at the airports, more than 1,000 flights canceled, 5,000 plus delayed.
We just seen a van that was off the road in a ditch.
Hundreds of accidents reported.
I've just traveled for about a quarter mile and I've slid back and forth already, and I'm not even going fast.
Some of them deadly. Snowy, icy roads to blame for at least 4 deaths in Arkansas. And in Mississippi, 2 people killed Wednesday and 44 injured after this tour bus overturned. Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob, that severe weather, nothing we are experiencing here, but I'll tell you, it is cold.
Yeah, that same storm system brought us that cold front that has cooled things down a little bit. The colder air is still bottled up just over North Florida right now. And by the way, the Northeast still raging. That storm is still causing winter problems all the way up to Maine tonight. And on top of that, there's another storm on the heels of that one, which will cause problems down the road here in the next couple of days. 64 degrees, so it's not too cold for us right now. We have some clouds out there, but it's cooler than it has been at this hour. Over the past week or so, we've had temperatures at this hour 74, so 10 degrees cooler right now. The pressure is rising. The dew point is what is going to be dropping now, and it's at 55 degrees. Last night at this time was at 72. In the temperatures already down in the 30s over the Panhandle. 38 degrees in Tallahassee, 37 in Pensacola. Much warmer though in Miami, 68 degrees there, and in the 70s still in the Keys. Temperatures around town all pretty much in the low to mid 60s at this time. The Gulf water temperatures dropped 4 degrees in just the last 24 hours. Lows tonight, and they're still on track to get down this cool. Upper 40s in Northport, 53 at Venice, 55 degrees Longboat Key, 54 at Anna Maria, and 53 in Braden and Lakewood Ranch. You should be right around 50 degrees under fair skies. And as far as the dew point goes, you can see these dew point temperatures down into the low 30s here. That is spreading southward, so we're going to see that in place tomorrow morning. I think the cool weather, or the colder weather, will be here just after 4 a.m. and then start to filter on down our way to create those low temperatures I just mentioned. How much more on this coming up in a few minutes, Jacqueline?
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Bob. Sheriff's deputies in Manatee County are warning parents tonight to be extra vigilant of their children. According to a press release, an 11-year-old boy was abducted from his front yard tonight in the Southwood neighborhood of West Bradenton. That's less than a mile away from IMG Academy. According to the boy, a white male entered the yard, grabbed him by the wrist, and told him to get inside his car. The boy said the man put him in the front passenger seat and then drove about a block from the home, where he then told him to get out of the car. The boy ran home and told his father about the incident. That man is being described as blonde, wearing a black shirt and blue jeans, driving a black SUV or sedan. Breaking news into our newsroom tonight, a Sarasota woman has died from a crash at a raceway. Sebring International Raceway released a statement tonight saying Katarina Moeller, known as Kat, passed away during a drag racing event today. According to the raceway, Moeller was making her first run in the car at Sebring's regular drag racing event. In an official statement, they said the driver for Larson Motorsports was quite popular and was in her 5th season with Larson, adding that the entire racing community is heartbroken. Highland County Sheriff's Office is now investigating this incident. An undercover operation in the Tampa Bay area leads to the arrest of dozens of alleged gang members, one of them from Palmetto. Bradley Cox is one of 40 people associated with the gang United Aryan Brotherhood and another one known as Unforgiven. He's facing 3 charges, 2 of possession and intent to distribute fentanyl, and 1 charge of intent to sell heroin. As part of Operation Blackjack, these men have been indicted on arms and drug trafficking charges. Those charges range from possessing firearms and pipe bombs to possessing and distributing meth and heroin. Manatee County detectives are investigating the murder of a young black man whose body was found burning on an isolated road in Mayaca City. His body discovered late last night by a witness living in that area. The man was pronounced dead at the scene by EMS. The death is being investigated as a homicide. Investigators say it appears the victim may have already been dead before being set on fire. The medical examiner is now in the process of identifying that body.
We don't think that this was a person that was in the area. We believe that this person was brought to the area, possibly killed, and then dumped in this location.
Detectives say it can take several days, even weeks, to identify the victim. Take a look at this. An estimated $500 million worth of cocaine is officially in South Florida, but it will never make it to the streets, all thanks to the U.S. Coast Guard. The drugs were seized in the eastern Pacific Ocean off the coasts of Mexico, Central and South America. On your screen, you're looking at a combined loot from 15 separate drug smuggling attempts. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus a look at how local businesses are helping the hungry for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. And even though the red tide scared off other events on the Sun Coast, the Waterfest is here to stay. We'll take you on a high-speed boat ahead of the festivities.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Well, we are just a day away now from Waterfest and all the exciting festivities surrounding it. That event in Inglewood features the best offshore boat racers in the world, plus some other fun activities. ABC7's Rick Adams takes us for a ride, highlighting what people can expect this weekend.
Well, the offshore racers and thousands of spectators are certainly ready for this weekend. Waterfest is always one of the biggest and most fun events here on the Sun Coast.
I've been 100 plus in a lot of boats, and Once you hit that 90-mile-an-hour range, it's almost like you're floating.
Riding with Keith Lewis with the world champion Miss Geico race team, we hit about 70 miles per hour, just to give us a taste of what it's like in one of these offshore race boats. 50 world-class racing teams are on hand to compete this weekend at Waterfest in Inglewood.
If you've ever seen a boat going 150 miles an hour across water, making a lot of noise, it's pretty exciting. Again, it's the largest festival on the southwest coast of Florida. We'll attract over 30,000 people.
In addition to the racing, Schroeder says there's something for everyone, featuring food, music, exhibits, including a butterfly exhibit and a family conservation center. Despite having to cancel the recent Paddle Fest because of red tide, officials say conditions on the beach are improving, and even with some cooler temperatures, a huge crowd is expected, which is a big boost to the local economy.
We're talking over $6 million of economic impact per event, and this is the 4th year. So as you can see, it's been a big important event for the Chamber of Commerce and for the area businesses.
A Waterfest block party on Dearborn Avenue in Inglewood kicks things off tomorrow from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. The racing gets underway at 11 a.m. on both Saturday and Sunday.
I'm looking forward to it. It's the end of the year. This is the World Championship, and this is what we strive for all year long, is to come here and win a World Championship.
And once again, the festivities kick off with a block party tomorrow afternoon, then the races on Saturday and Sunday. For ticket information or more information on Waterfest, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Inglewood Beach, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rick, thank you. Well, I had my fair share of offshore boat racing last weekend, but it is always a fun event to see those boats just fly by. I mean, I tell you, it's impressive.
I had an opportunity to actually broadcast nationally of that boat race a couple of years in a row. Yeah, so it is fun, and I have been in there on the Geico. In fact, they took me for a ride out there on Sarasota Bay a couple of years ago, and so it's a lot of fun, as you said, to see them and be in them, too.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. We are looking at some viewer photos here sent in. This is Raymond from North Sarasota. The sky was just trying to clear a little bit there as the sun was setting, and it's a fiery sky. We had some showers around earlier. Those have since moved on. And a chilly night. We're going to see low temperatures to start the day off tomorrow, down into the low to mid 50s for the most part, some upper 40s well inland. Sunshine, breezy, and a kind of a cool Friday for Waterfest, but it's not going to be raining. That's good. And it should not be stormy at all across the state as a result of high pressure moving in. A nice weekend ahead. Now, you heard the racing is going to be on Saturday and Sunday. By 11 o'clock, things should be starting to warm up there, and it looks as though the seas will be calming down. We've had advisories all day today out in the waters, but those have since expired, and I'm not anticipating any advisories over the weekend as the winds will be abating somewhat. Now, this cold air is still just to the north of us. You can see it coming down by these street clouds, they're called. They're lined up like streets right there in the Gulf of Mexico. That's that colder air, and there's a secondary front, really, and as I said, it'll push through around 4 a.m., and we'll cool down. We'll see temperatures down into the low to mid 50s for the most part. And with a little bit of a wind, it's going to make it feel pretty cold out there, but not nearly as cold as they're getting right now in New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, all the way up into Maine now. This snowstorm is not over. We saw the report earlier, all the problems in New York. That's changed over to rain, very windy conditions here in this nor'easter, but it's all snow here in upstate New York, also into Massachusetts, as well as Vermont, New Hampshire, spreading off to Maine. And there are still a lot of winter storm warnings in effect all across the Northeast as a result of that first nor'easter. Now, there's another one behind it, and we'll show you that in a little bit. But for us, that front is well to the south of us now. Secondary front expected to move through, as I said, early in the morning. No rain to speak of right now. It'll stay dry on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In fact, all the way through Thanksgiving, we're not expecting any rainfall around town. Winds have been out of the northwest. They're going to change more to the north, and then we'll see that out of the northeast by later on in the afternoon, but still a more northerly component all day long. So high temperatures tomorrow expected only into the upper 60s for the most part. And then we'll see another cold start to Saturday. Low temperatures will be into the upper 40s across most of the area. Current temperatures right now across the state, 30s already in Tallahassee and Pensacola, 47 in Jacksonville. That's what I mean by that secondary front, which is now right around Gainesville. Forecast tomorrow calling for temperatures to be rather chilly to start things off, and then we'll only warm into the mid to upper 60s. Lots of sunshine around, though. We'll see that steady north wind, and that will cause some cooler temperatures to stick around. Now that snowstorm again, another one coming through. Here it comes. More snow expected across parts of Pennsylvania, New York, all the way up into the northern New England states, and another one on the heels of that come next week and next Tuesday. So it's not quite over yet. Current conditions, we have some clouds around. The temperature at 64 and winds are out of the north-northwest. The high today, 77 degrees, and 88 was the record, 93. You see some of these cold temperatures. Montreal at 18, 20 in Ottawa, Toronto at 32. And out west, temperatures are very chilly as well. Nothing extreme at this point, but still below average. For boaters tomorrow, winds will be calming down somewhat. We'll see north winds at 15 knots, not nearly as high as they have been, but by the weekend, those seas will be back down to about 2 feet. Now, here's the extended forecast as we see it. We'll see a chance for showers, but only on Wednesday, and that's at 20%. Elsewhere, a lot of sunshine, cool temperatures. The weekend looking spectacular. Highs in the mid-70s to upper 70s and staying that way throughout much of next week. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Well, actually, I think we have Bob's Gone Fishing as well.
Oh, that's right. Gone
do you have some pictures for that?
I do. Let's get back to that. It's Thursday. Minnesota Operation Troop Support, again, showing all the folks there you see are military veterans or active duty members doing some fishing over the weekend, this past weekend. So the MOTS, it's called, they actually took all these guys out, and all the captains volunteered their time. Captain Johnny Walker's in that, and here's one of the fish they caught right there, a big snook. Again, had to release that, and another snook caught right here. So a lot of snook being caught around town, and another one. This is a nice fish that usually hang out on some of the buoys there with the crab traps. This one from Captain Brian Marcy, and that's a triple tail. Those are nice eating fish, I understand. He said there was some red tide out there, and here's some evidence of that. Some pictures sent in from a helicopter of the discolored water in Longboat Key and also just off of Anna Maria Island. Unfortunately, that red tide is still around, and it's still patchy, but it's still out there. Talked to a gentleman on Longboat Key, and he said he was having some issues with it yesterday.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bob.
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Thanksgiving is a week from today, and efforts are underway to make sure everyone has a hot meal. Today, a team at Hendrick Honda of Bradenton gave out over 100 meals to those who could not afford it otherwise. A lot of that food was donated by employees of the dealership. The rest was donated by the Food Bank of Manatee.
We're a successful, award-winning dealership, and the only way we can do that is be involved in the community. Mr. Hendrick makes it one of his top priorities that we give back to those that give to us.
People who were in need would drive up, and a team would then load boxes and bags of food into their cars. Included in the food handed out today, fresh fruits, vegetables, and full turkeys. Meanwhile, about 30 volunteers filled backpacks full of food for low-income and homeless Fruitville Elementary School children this morning. Many of those students' primary source of food is eaten at school, and they will likely go hungry during the long holiday weekend. Volunteers from VW Hope in a Backpack, including employees from Toyota of Sarasota and ABC7, also took part in a wine tasting event tonight as a thank you for their efforts to help feed the hungry.
We fed up to 152 kids a week, and that is to put in their backpacks, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the weekends and all during the holidays. So if it's a 3-week holiday, we make sure there's enough food for the 3 weeks or 2 weeks, whatever it may be.
Great effort there. Nearly 300 backpacks were stuffed with food for the holiday weekend coming up. They'll be taken to Fruitville Elementary, where they will then be handed out to students and their families in need. And All Faiths Food Bank also hopes to distribute more than 7,000 turkeys and sides to families in need this holiday season. Thanks to a $35,000 grant from the Community Foundation of Sarasota County, the food bank will hand out more turkey dinners than it ever has. Turkeys will be distributed through the food bank's mobile pantries, with the largest distribution of holiday groceries happening Tuesday from 11 to 5 at Robarts Arena in Sarasota. All Faiths Food Bank has also provided turkeys for families in need in Manatee and DeSoto counties. Well, consumer news is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Are we all clear?
New tonight.
We are green to go. Roger.
It's former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Do you have a secret like Instagram?
If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret.
Plus, from Disney's Mary Poppins Returns, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Kimmel, new tonight on ABC.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income.
That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now before it's too late.
Make us splash! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
This weekend on the ABC7 live stream.
Women have shed their blood in defense of America since the dawn of the Republic.
Nobody wants to die for their country, but a lot of people are willing to die for their buddy.
Their sacrifices are profound.
I blame myself because I think, what if I was there?
And their noble accomplishments largely ignored.
The ultimate cost could be our lives.
Unsung Heroes, the story of America's female patriots.
What can a father do clear on the other side of the world?
Sunday at 10 on ABC7.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams, protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
In consumer news, a warning for drivers who use electronic driver assist systems. Some higher-end cars typically have these, but testing by AAA shows systems on the road today may not be able to respond in time to avoid a crash. The Auto Club tested the systems on 4 cars with adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. All left their lanes unexpectedly, and 3 of the 4 of them would have failed to avoid a crash. Well, when it comes to sending holiday packages, the United States Postal Service is out with its annual list of deadlines. You might want to take a piece of paper and a pen and write these down. If you're shipping with standard ground mail, you'll want to get your mail in by December 14th. If you're shipping first class or priority, you'll want to ship by December 20th. And for Priority Mail Express, your last day to ship out, that's going to be December 22nd. Mail delivery demands are expected to go up sharply this holiday season. Experts predict consumers will put 15 billion pieces of mail and 900 million packages into the system between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's a look at consumer news. We'll have tonight's winning lotto number straight ahead.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
It's year-end clearance time at every Ghetto location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Ghetto.com. And Ghetto Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Ghetto dealership near you. Ghetto's got it. At Ghetto.com.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, you are looking live at the Empire State Building in New York City tonight, lit up green and red in honor of the opening night of the 2018 Christmas Spectacular starring the Radio City Rockettes. I've always wanted to see that ever since I was a little girl, Bob. Always been intrigued by them. They are impressive.
Yeah, I bet you're a really good person too. You know, I mean, you see them on TV all the time, but
I know.
Just to see it would be amazing. We are looking at some cooler temperatures to start the day off tomorrow. In fact, some people would call it cold in Florida standards. 51. That'll be mainly away from the water, but then temperatures only cool into the mid to upper 60s.
All right, thank you so much, Bob. Don't be surprised if I show up in a turtleneck. All right, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good night.